Hello to all of my Irish friends.
I was there the last time you were here at the screening you did with Sinead Burke. It's really interesting. And it's funny, I remember at the time, and this is going to sound really creepy, but I swear there's a point to this. You were wearing this like blue dress and you were talking about the blue wave and the upcoming elections. And this might be more of a question for David Gordon Green, but the whole scene, and I hope I'm not giving anything away here, but there was a scene in Halloween Kills where there's like basically a mob riot breaks out in the hospital. And maybe it's just, I don't know, like my news-addled brain or whatever, but when I was watching that, it made me think of January 6th.
You think?
Yeah, and I'm wondering, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, so here's, David Gordon Green is prescient. As prescient a human being as I think I've ever known. In 2018, he made a movie that he wrote in 2017 about female trauma and women standing up against their aggressor and fighting back. The movie was released on October 21st, 2018. The women's movement, the Me Too movement, started at the beginning of October when those first brave women sat down with Ronan Farrow. The tidal wave of female trauma coming up from all over the world, women standing up, saying that this had happened to them, collided with this movie. And we got on that wave and we rode that wave all the way to this tremendous global success. A horror movie, a slasher movie about female trauma. In 2017, David writes a sequel. We shoot it in 2018. It's supposed to be released, he writes it in 2018. We shoot it in 2019. It's supposed to be released in October of 2020. And during the year, all these uprisings, all this social justice, all of this outrage, police brutality, all of this energy, groups of people gathering together saying the system is broken, we are going to take matters into our own hands. But then we didn't release the movie because of COVID. So now we're sitting on a movie about the concentric circles of rage, trauma, and violence that happened to a town, to a community. And then we're going to release it in 2021 in October, and in January of 21 in America, there's this mob that descends on the American Capitol.
Yeah.
People are angry all over the world. In France, in England, in Ireland, people are angry. People are saying the system is broken. Again, the prescience that David Gordon Green has created a movie about a group of people who attack and move as a mob, because the system is broken. It's beautiful, disturbing, and when you see the third movie, your mind will explode in your head. Because what David is going to do in that movie is going to shock people and make people really look in the mirror.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that was going to be my next question is what's actually in store for the third one?
I'm prescient.
Yeah.
David Gordon Green has put it into me somehow, and I don't mean that in any inappropriate way.
Yeah. It's all of those things. I loved the inversion of, in the first one, the idea of a woman taking her trauma and turning it into a missile that she aims it at someone else.
Yeah, but by the way, just remember that woman who took that trauma, she also suffered that trauma.
Oh yeah,
she was a
completely.
pinball in a pinball machine banging around 40 years of life.
Yeah.
And couldn't make contact.
Yeah, and even the idea of generational trauma, that it's not just her suffering, everyone else around her suffers because of it. Yeah.
Well, I'm sober 22 years off of opiates and alcohol, and when you talk about generational trauma, there in any traumatic state, everybody around that person suffers.
Yeah.
So if it's alcoholism, That's why God invented Al-Anon. In this case, as you said, the generational trauma, she's separated from her daughter and granddaughter because of it. And by the end of the movie, which is so beautiful, at the end of 2018, there are a lot of numbers. I was never good at math, and all I do all day is spew these numbers of years.
Yeah.
But, I think Laurie could have died in the back of that truck at the end of the movie and been happy. Michael's dead, and her daughter and granddaughter are around her.
Yeah, that's it. There was part of me that was kind of like, when that film ended, I was like, you could have drawn a line under it there.
Perfect.
And that would have been...
Perfect.
Yeah. But then again, I suppose we wouldn't be talking now, and then we wouldn't be, we won't have what's in store for the third one, I guess.
Yeah. But by the way, just so you know, I didn't know there was a trilogy. David never mentioned the word trilogy to me. I only found out it was a trilogy while they were finished editing, and we were putting the final touches, dialogue, looping, dialogue replacement, scoring. We were on a scoring stage when David told me it. So that was probably in August of 2018 is when I first heard, oh, by the way, we're going to do a trilogy. It was like, oh, I had no idea.
Wow. Okay, they're going crazy there. I got to wrap. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. And really,
me too.
Good luck with the film as well. I loved it. And I've been a fan for years. So.
Oh, far out. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes.